Welcome on board with First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama. The First Lady traveled to Pretoria, Johannesburg, and Cape Town, South Africa, and Gaborone, Botswana for an official visit. During the trip, promoting youth leadership, education, and health, Mrs. Obama delivered the keynote address to a U.S.-sponsored Young African Women Leaders Forum held in South Africa, with 76 women from 25 African countries, met with inspirational leaders Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, joined forum participants at service projects, and spoke with secondary school students at the University of Cape Town. The First Lady also showed her soccer skills at a youth soccer clinic, dropped by roundtable discussions with young women leaders, and donated over 200 books to a local child care center on behalf of the United States. On Tuesday, after arriving in South Africa, the First Lady began her trip by traveling to Pretoria, the capital of South Africa, and the home of Don Gibbs, the United States Ambassador to South Africa. Here she met with South African leaders, embassy staff, and Buscade, a 10-member string band from Soweto, which included a number of young people. Before departing, the First Lady briefly spoke with embassy staff about their importance as United States representatives overseas.
The real diplomacy that really changes things around the world doesn't happen with presidents and prime ministers. The real hard work happens with the work that you do every day.
The First Lady then traveled to the official residence of the President of South Africa for a meeting with South African First Lady Mthuli Zuma. Inside the Dutch Cape-style home, the two discussed the important friendship between their two countries and the signature issue of her official visit, encouraging young people to take on leadership roles and become the next generation of problem solvers. Later, the First Lady left Pretoria for Johannesburg and visited the Mandela Foundation, where she met with Graça Machel, former First Lady of Mozambique and the wife of Nelson Mandela. Here, she was given a book of Mandela quotations from the foundation and viewed the artifacts that are physical reminders of his life's work against apartheid and creating a democratic South Africa.
Listen, because you're going to be tested on this.
Afterwards, the First Lady made the short trip through the streets of Houghton, a neighborhood in Johannesburg, to the home of Nelson Mandela for a meeting with the former president. Following her historic meeting with Mr. Mandela, the First Lady visited with school children at a local community center in Zandspruit Township. At the center, the First family listened to songs of welcome and donated over 200 books to the center library, including The Cat in the Hat, which the First family read aloud.
And then, who was back in the house? Why, the cat.
Have no fear of this mess, said the Cat in the Hat.
The First Lady ended the first day of her trip at the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg, where she met with the forum's 76 participants ahead of their activities scheduled for the following day.
I am just humbled and proud and moved, and hugs to all of you. I want my girls to be like you. They're here, so they have to see you all. They have to understand what hard work and beauty and strength looks like. Cool? Cool.
On Wednesday, June 22nd, the First Lady made her first of several stops in Soweto at Regina Mundi Church, the largest Roman Catholic church in South Africa, and the site of refuge for anti-apartheid demonstrators during the Soweto Uprising of 1976, and known to this day as the People's Church. On this day, the First Lady gave the keynote address to over 2,000 people in attendance, where she challenged young people to pick up the mantle of leadership and help tackle the world's shared challenges.
But I am here today because when it comes to the challenges we face, we simply don't have time to sit back and wait. I'm here because I believe that each of you is ready, right here and right now, to start meeting these challenges. And I am here because I know that true leadership often happens with the smallest acts, in the most unexpected places, by the most unlikely individuals.
Following her remarks, the First Lady made a stop at another historic site in Soweto, the Hector Peterson Memorial and Museum. Here, she was joined by Antoinette Sithole, the sister of Hector Peterson, in a wreath-laying ceremony paying her respects to the young boy who was among the first of many who died at the hands of apartheid-era police during the June 16, 1976 student uprisings. Later, the First Lady stopped by Rosa Parks Library to engage in forum roundtable discussions and provided some words of wisdom to participants.
The only thing that happens in an instant is destruction. When you think about it, earthquake, here, you build something, earth gone, forget you know? But everything else requires time. Raising children, building a family, having a career, all of it is time. I want you all to continue to work fiercely and to be impatient, but don't let the struggle discourage you, because it's hard and it's supposed to be hard. And if it were easy, we wouldn't have anything to do.
After the roundtables, the First Lady traveled to a Soweto community center supporting children and families affected by HIV/AIDS. The First Lady helped harvest carrots and plant spinach in the center's garden, and met with additional forum participants who were doing service acts such as painting a mural on the library structure and leading arts and crafts demonstrations for children.
We live in a community that has very low income and very high income, and what we're trying to do is to create, address poverty, create jobs, and get the community that can afford to buy, get them to buy from those who are producing locally.
Yes.
So that it becomes like a virtuous cycle.
Yeah. Well, everyone's trying to get back to the basics in that way, you know.
Later, the First Lady boarded the Air Force plane Bright Star and headed to Cape Town, South Africa. On Thursday, June 23rd, the First Lady traveled to the University of Cape Town, the oldest university in South Africa, to join with local secondary school students in a question and answer discussion on education and leadership.
I can see the same promise in all of you as I do in my own girls. That's what keeps me motivated. When I see you, I see them. When I see them, I see you. And I see it in the students that I've met all across my country in America, and in all of the young men and women I see as I travel around the world.
Before the youth event, the First Lady stopped by a local restaurant, The Kitchen, where the first family was greeted by owner Karen Dudley and sat down for a lunch at the eatery, offering healthy salads and made-to-order sandwiches. The day culminated at Cape Town Stadium, site of the 2010 Soccer World Cup. Before participating in soccer activities that also educated kids about HIV/AIDS, the First Lady joined Archbishop Desmond Tutu and spoke to local youth from area townships about the importance of a healthy, active lifestyle and how they can help stem the tide of HIV/AIDS.
The solution lies with all of you, because if you all figure this out and you're able to talk about these issues and you're able to ask for help, and you're able to pass on good information to maybe even your parents and your friends and your community and those younger than you, that's how we fix this problem.
Before the soccer event began, the First Lady was briefed on several programs providing HIV/AIDS education, prevention, and support. The briefing also included a discussion on how grassroots organizations use soccer as a convening mechanism to draw young people together to learn about making healthy choices. On Friday, the First Lady left Cape Town for the final leg of her trip, Botswana. The weather, which had been overcast with a mix of rain the day before, opened up to reveal a double rainbow as the First Lady took off. Arriving in Botswana, the First Lady was greeted by children waving American and Botswanan flags, as well as a traditional African dance performed to the song Obama Yele Yele. The first stop in Botswana for the First Lady was the Baylor Center, a U.S. Botswanan-sponsored health center supporting children and families affected by HIV/AIDS. Here, the First Lady met with center leaders, Peace Corps volunteers, and participated in a service project helping teens finish painting a mural on a wall of a future youth center.
This looks complicated. Is it hard? Is it easier?
Later, the First Lady held a lunch for Botswana girls who are excelling in schools and their families. She was joined by newly appointed ambassador to Botswana, Michelle Gavin, and leading women from the country.
And today I'm reminded that here in Botswana you have a proverb that says, "We are people because of other people." In other words, all of our journeys are shaped in part by people in our lives who love us, who believe in us, and who invest in us.
Later, the First Lady met with Botswana President Ian Khama in downtown Gaborone, the capital of the country. Before departing Botswana for her return trip to the United States, the First Lady held her last event, a meeting with U.S. Embassy workers and their families at the home of Ambassador Gavin.
Can you dream big dreams? That means do big things. Exclamation point. Okay?
Keep it up, okay? This my visit is all about young people. So keep it going. Let's move. Did you hear that? Let's